everybody, welcome to Reaction Shots for November 2024. I'm Isla Hink. I'm joined by Matt Walden and
Hello.
Michael Huber.
Yo.
This month we are talking about cozy classics to distract from troubling times.
Great.
I'm not troubled. I'm fine. Not troubled at all.
Everything is fine.
I'm not troubled. You're troubled. I'm fine.
Prompt. 10 out of 10 prompt.
Thank you.
That is like we walked into a college course and they're like, today we'll be discussing cozy films during troubling times.
The original prompts for Reaction Shots, I had to like step it back because it did feel like I was doing like a college course when we were back in episode 2 or whatever, and we were doing magical realism and forcing everyone to watch Borgman.
Borgman's such a trip.
I love Borgman.
Borgman's crazy.
Anyone who doesn't is crazy.
Borgman's nuts.
It looked kind of creepy. It looked kind of creepy to me.
You've never seen it?
Well, no, but I was an earlier listener to Reaction Shots. I was listening to all the episodes. That goes way back in the history of the show.
I think that's episode 2.
I booted up the trailer and it just scared the shit out of me. I'll tell you the truth. And like scarier than like the horror movies I watched. There was something about the trailer that was so deeply unnerving, and I have not found the right moment for it.
It's a classic. Anyway, enough about Borgman. So we're gonna talk about cozy classics to distract from troubling times. But quickly, we're going to go through what we've seen lately. Huber, I don't think you've gone first in a minute, or you go
Keep
first
it
every
brief.
time, and I just have bad memory.
I don't remember. I'll keep it brief, but there's a lot. Very brief. First up, on Thanksgiving, I watched for the first time in a while the New World Director's Cut. 3 hours.
You talked about it. You said you were going to do this.
You said you were going to do it, and you did it.
Oh, beautiful movie. So beautiful. I love that movie. It makes me feel like shit part of the time. It makes me feel like good a little bit of the time. And I'm just like in awe of that movie. Like classic, epic. It's like epic restrained filmmaking. So it's this really cool balance of like, this is so beautifully made, but it's also just this really intimate tale. So I recommend that one for sure.
Terrence Malick is definitely like, he has a unique voice.
Yeah.
Oh, the only like, it's sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? Inimitable? Is that the word? Like nobody else besides him can really do that, and other people try to, and it feels bad when they try to. It feels like, no, this isn't it.
He's been leaning more and more and more into the tone poem vibe, which hasn't really resonated with me as much.
Yeah.
But his earlier stuff, like Thin Red Line, New World, like
Badlands especially.
Badlands.
I love
Badlands. I haven't seen it.
Oh, you will love it so much, especially, I mean, it could end up being your favorite.
Dude.
Yeah. Did you see, what's the Richard Gere one about wheat farming? I know that sounds boring, and it kind of is, but it's also beautiful. Days of Heaven. I think that's called Days of Heaven. Yeah, that one's good too. I mean, it's a boring topic, but it's also so beautifully shot.
I gotta do it.
Maybe
New
the
World,
best
like,
cinematography ever. Oh, sorry.
New
go
World,
ahead.
there's not a lot of like plot. It's just like, you're there. It's sick.
Yeah. Is it John Smith and Pocahontas? Is that what it's about? Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like I'd have a hard time revisiting it after reading some things about those two individuals. But I remember thinking it was a very beautiful movie
Well, I remember,
when I watched it.
I don't think I've seen the director's cut, but I remember people telling me that like the director's cut adds a lot of like very needed other angles on certain topics and stuff that the theatrical just didn't have that stuff. I don't even know I think I've seen the theatrical, but I have no memory of it.
The director's cut is legit like an hour longer. So super, super good. Criterion Collection, but it was on streaming. But I got to get that Criterion Collection. It looks freaking nice.
You can just sink into it for like 3 hours, right? Yeah.
Two, I'm sure some of you are watching. Dune and Star Wars. Where are we at?
I saw the first episode of Dune Prophecy.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it a lot. I really liked it, but I haven't kept going yet. Yeah. It's been a busy week, so.
I just love settling into that universe. Like, I don't know. I guess there's no pressure with it, so I can just we have the movies, we've got freaking 10 out of 10, like Denis Villeneuve, like you're not going to top that, but just being able to see like another side of this universe and to settle into, plot.
Well, and it's crazy that it's set like 10,000 years before the birth of Paul Atreides. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So we're going way back. Okay.
Way back.
Which I was really surprised because like I've read Dune and I know like, a passing amount about the backstory and stuff. I was surprised that spice and stuff was already such a big deal.
I know. Yeah.
But that's that close after the Machine Wars, because it's like you developed spice-based space travel that fast.
Yeah, like the show.
I don't know.
The show has made me, just like the movies. The show really makes me want to like know more. So I'm just like, oh, give me all the lore. Like when something makes me crave the lore of the universe, then I'm like, I'm just all in. Like the best. Yeah. And then Skeleton Crew is like really jolly.
Really?
Star Wars, holy shit!
I heard a review that hated it.
Dude, it's the highest reviewed since Andor.
Wow.
It is a 95. I hate to tout Rotten Tomatoes, but like that's where we're at. Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, dude, Skeleton Crew is like a lot of it doesn't feel like Star Wars at all. I have this really weird feeling where it's like I'm just watching a sci-fi show.
Right.
But then it like leans into some Star Wars stuff and like, okay, there it is. But like regardless of that, it is good so far. It was a 2-episode premiere and it was really good.
I'm starting to feel like things that are Star Wars, the more adjacent it gets, the better it gets. Like keep the Skywalkers the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Just give me like a guy.
Yeah. There's so much going on right now. I'm trying to rapid fire this. Creature Commandos, here we go. The start of the new DCU coming. This is the official beginning.
Oh.
Isla, I've been so excited to just say this needs to be on your radar.
Oh.
Put this on your radar.
I've driven by a billboard for it. Is it a cartoon?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you're going to be into it.
Is it on Max?
What's it on? It's on Max. Okay. This also had a 2-episode premiere.
Okay. I'll pop it on later.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I think she'll fucking dig this. Like this is good so far.
Okay.
Super confusing though because it's the beginning of the new DC, but then, not a spoiler, it's like it references the Suicide Squad, and then James Gunn is like season 2 of Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad is canon. But then in my head, this is why universes are insane. In my head, I'm like, if the Suicide Squad is canon to the new DC, but the Suicide Squad is also canon to the old DC, then is this new DC, is it just the old? Like my brain is just
but didn't the Suicide Squad like literally killed off a lot of the links to the old canon? Like
but they still reference it heavily. So it's like, the Suicide Squad is still in that universe, 100% confirmed.
Yeah. So I love how season 2 of Peacemaker, but not season 1.
It's bizarre. But stripping all that away, it doesn't matter. This show, really, really strong start. I really want to know what you think, Isla. Yeah, very excited.
What were you going to say, Matt?
Oh, just in reference to the new Star Wars show, I'd heard very strong like Goonies feelings, which I didn't know how that would bounce off of some non-Goonies fans. Like I was like, oh, I heard this might be some whimsical boomer shit. Yeah,
The good thing is that there are some adult plot lines as well going on. So you got to have the adults because
that's what Caravan of Courage was missing.
I don't know what is
Adventure. Ewok Adventure.
Because I love when like Stranger Things does it. I love when like kids encounter like adult real danger. Like that's always such a fun dynamic.
Yeah. And then, I was thinking like from a really, really objective standpoint, because Goonies is a lot of people's like cozy film if you were of that age in the 80s.
We'll probably hear some of it later in this episode.
There's some very objectively weird shit, like the Fratellis, the crime family, who are the only real adults in the movie for most of it. They're so like off-putting and strange. And if you grew up with them, you're like, oh, those are the wild villains. But like, if you didn't like grow up with that movie, you're like, what the fuck is this? What is this? There's no grounding. There's so many things in that movie that are just like, I mean, I love it to pieces. Like, one of my favorite movies. But I get it. So like something like that, but without some of that weirdness that like everybody can just join in on the fun. Like I see, and in the Star Wars universe, I see it. I can't wait to watch some of it.
And there's like a little bit of like volume-ish kind of stuff, but like the effects and the budget are like, okay, all right, this is good. This looks good. Yeah,
nice.
Wow. Yeah. There's just so much. I'm trying to get through this. It is out of control.
We're all fine.
Switching gears here. There's two other shows. One, the Creep tapes. Tell me, either of you have seen Creep 1 or 2? Creep 1 and 2.
Oh, this was the found footage thing.
Yes.
I've never seen it, but you told me it's good.
Super duper. Like in my tops of found footage horror movies. This is a spin-off show. There's 6 episodes, 20 minutes each, and it's exactly the same as the movies, and it's just a different kill each time. So 6 different victims. It's fucking incredible. It
sounds sad.
Dude, Creep it'll make you feel so uncomfortable, but in like a clean way. If that makes sense. It's not like a grindhouse, like dirty, like, it's like, like, I'm fucking uncomfortable and I hate this, but like, this is also really good cinema. And it's not like, it's not gruesome. It's just psychologically messy. And
is it, I guess I had thought it would be kind of like, Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, or like Man Bites Dog or something.
Yeah, not that heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, a little lighter because Mark Duplass is like a little comedic,
Yeah,
there will be some really dark gallows humor in there, to like kind of break it up. But I just highly recommend Creep. And then I think this is going to lead into, they talked about they're going to do a third one to close it all out. So the Creep universe.
The Creepiverse.
The Creepers, yeah. High recommendation.
Okay.
The basic premise is like he, just killer, just standard.
He'd be creeping.
He's creeping, yeah. Changing gears finally to something so cozy, a romantic comedy that just came out that I finished 10 minutes ago. Nobody Wants This with Adam Brody and Kristen Bell. Oh my God. 10 out of 10. It's out of control. Everything is so good right now. This is a 10 out of 10. He's a rabbi and she is like anti-religion. And they like fall in love, and it's like nobody wants this because it's like, it's so good. Cozy show.
Who wins?
20-minute episodes. I'm not going to say anything. Highly recommend if you're looking for a cozy rom-com. So good. Season 2 already confirmed.
Oh.
So
we
close.
Don't know if who wins yet.
Can't say. So close. I didn't talk about Heretic last time, did I? That's this time?
I don't think so. I saw it too.
You did?
Yeah.
What do you think? Yes.
Yeah. I think that
it's one of my favorite movies this year.
It is. I think it's a really good movie. I think that the trailers did it kind of a disservice. Okay, that's good. Because the trailers made it seem like it was going to be like puzzle house, like trapped in a maze, like all kinds of crazy shit going on. And instead it's like
got it.
The conversations I had in college when I was curing myself of religion, like
Yep.
Which is also cool. I think it would have hit me harder if I were like young, like still in that kind of mindset too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
to me, it's just one of the most fascinating questions.
Heretic. Oh,
I think it's always, and I'm sure Matthew has a lot of opinions on this too. I think it's just always one of the most interesting conversations that I never want to be in. I just want to watch them happen. Is religion?
Yeah.
Because
I don't mind being in it. I want people to hear my opinion. Just shut up when it's your turn. Let me tell you my opinion on it.
One time in college, I was on a 7-hour bus from Chicago to Des Moines to see my girlfriend, and like the dude next to me was like super religious, and we ended up just having like this like 6-hour conversation about faith and like all that kind of stuff. And like, we weren't talking loudly. We were speaking at a normal volume, but I started to realize that like everyone on the bus was just listening to us. And I could see a few people, and like, sometimes like I would make a point and they'd be like, and then other people, you would make a point and they'd be like,
it's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, I love it. Two more, one more movie, one more show. Saving the best for last. Oh my God, saving the fucking best. Gladiator 2. Who saw it?
You did.
Dude. 80% of this movie was a fucking 10 out of 10. Like,
okay.
Unbelievable.
So that's an 8 then?
I guess so. Yeah. Anytime.
Could be higher.
Anytime the movie tried to be... Anytime it tried to get into like the politics or, dare I say, the emotions, it kind of fell flat. It fell flat there. There's not a lot of emotion, but like the big gladiatorial Roman epic, fucking 10 out of 10. Perfect. Such good fight scenes. Paul Mescal, like everyone is saying it, and I completely 100% agree. And I've seen Normal People and what's his other epic one? I love him as an actor. Terribly miscast in this movie.
Oh, really?
Terribly miscast. Not his fault. Not the writing's fault. So, you know, he just wasn't a good fit for this role. Give Denzel Washington the Oscar now. Thank you very much. That's it.
Yeah.
Lock it up, Denzel.
I heard there was this thing where he was like, Denzel wanted to do some like kissing or something like that, and they cut it out or either didn't let it happen.
That sucks.
And I was like, that sounds awesome. They filmed it. Yeah.
That's insane. That makes perfect sense.
Why would you not let that happen in the movie? Seems like so much fun. Seems like a good time and accurate to like gladiatorial times. Yeah.
That is horrible.
Or any time. Yeah. But
it's not
that culture. Yeah.
I promise it's not a spoiler, but like the scene where it's like he's in the movie a little bit, and then it's like, okay, here we go, a Denzel scene. It's his scene. Here we go. We're gonna get some. He goes to the brothel, and he has a comment about like any kind of flesh. It doesn't matter. Like what you know. He's down for whatever, and that's upsetting that they cut it, dude. When he said that, I was like, oh yeah, like let's fucking go, Denzel. This is I love your he was so good in that movie. He's so good. Yeah. Gladiator.
I love him. He's having a lot of fun on the press junket too. He's just saying all kinds of stuff. It's great.
That's awesome. And last, and certainly not least, the grand finale, my absolute it still might be Penguin because of the Batman bias. But like my favorite show of the year, limited series, Say Nothing. This is about the Irish Troubles. This is a 4-decade spanning show, an absolute must watch before the end of the year. The Troubles in Ireland. I would love to hear what Irish people think about this. It's like all Irish cast, you know, like it seems like it's super legit, critically acclaimed, based on a book that was also super critically acclaimed, like New York Times bestseller. Highly high. If there's anything you took away from my mad ramblings the last 20 minutes, Say Nothing. That's it. Say Nothing. Don't forget it.
There's billboards all over town for it, yeah.
On Hulu.
Have you seen The Wind That Shakes the Barley?
With Cillian Murphy, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that's an intense movie. That's an intense movie. And especially because you realize, like, it's hard to talk about these things without getting political. But Especially for someone
Go
who
for it. Yeah, no,
especially for somebody.
We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah. I don't know all the nuances. It's cool because there's like so many nuances related to Ireland and Britain, but they essentially were colonized. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we're fighting back. And so when you're fighting back against the colonizer, it's really hard for the violence not to get messy. It just does. And then when you see that movie, oh shit, and they start turning against each other on their own team, and that's how that's what happens when violence gets unleashed. It's hard for it to stay in the direction you want it to go, which is why most people want political action as opposed to violent action. And that movie is just so sad and depressing.
Matthew, dude, also from like 5 years ago with Jack O'Connell, the movie 71. He plays a British soldier sent in during the Troubles to like quell some violence. Incredible movie. 10 out of 10 underrated. Saw it at the ArcLight Hollywood. Rip. Fucking ArcLight. 71 though, it's called. Look it up. You will love that one. Good one.
Wow. Yeah. This is maybe getting a little off track. I met and talked with Betty Williams, who won the Nobel Peace Prize for working in Northern Ireland to help bring peace there. And the peace is always kind of like
tenuous.
Exactly. Tenuous is the exact word. But she just went door to door with her friends who were like mothers and were like sick of like people just getting gunned down on the streets, and she was just like knocking on doors and being like, we need to stop this. What can we do to like work towards peace? And she was just like just a regular like person in the neighborhood, and it was like so impressive. And then when I went to Northern Ireland myself, me and my wife Jessica, we went to like a particular neighborhood where a lot of violence had gone down. They have this great like peace wall where they have all these murals and stuff, and really interesting. I highly recommend going there if you get a chance to that section. Like a lot of people, they'll go to more touristy parts of Ireland, and not to say that's not a touristy part, but I would say don't skip it. Like I would definitely make a trip to Belfast if you put it on your list. So
hell yeah.
That's all. Sorry.
Epic.
But
Epic.
The thing you recommended, tell me the name one more time. Say nothing.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Because I heard it mentioned, and I saw it like pop up on like Metacritic, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" Yeah.
Super good. The billboards are sick looking,
and it's got a lady with her mask on. And it's got a nice. It's not like Chernobyl. It's not too heavy. There's some lightness. So yeah. It's like an easy hard watch, you know what I mean? Those I love that. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Okay, and I started Silo. Fuck.
Yeah, Silo.
Season two.
I watched the first one and it was so sick. Oh my! I love when they do those episodes. Yeah, like so high concept. That's all I'm going to say.
Don't spoil anything. Yeah, don't spoil anything.
I just love the way they do.
It's a hard show to talk about in season 2 because if you say anything, it'll like. Say nothing.
Shit. I'm not saying shit. Say nothing. Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. I watched most of season 1 and I fell off because there weren't enough jokes, and that's just me being. I'm a silly goose. I just need jokes. It's a very
serious show,
and like Isla will know this from writing with me, where like someone will be dying and I'll be like, well, we'll put a joke here, and I was like, no, there's someone dying in this scene, man. We don't need a joke on this page.
This team has been cut in half. We can't have a joke.
Are you sure? A little joke.
We'll do a joke later. Yes, Silo season 2. I'm enjoying it so far. It's a similar to From, which I'll talk about in a second, but like it is a punishing week to week show. Like it is better for binging, I think, because God, every episode feels like they're drip feeding. I'm like, come on. Open this door. Talk about this thing. Do this.
And they're
thing.
a little shorter. They're like 40. Where I feel like
short.
it feels like they could be an hour. They start and they're over. It's like
they're edging us though. They're leading up hopefully to something big.
Can I ask something here? What is gooning? Is that edging? This is too dirty for reaction shots.
I believe it's masturbation.
Oh, that's all. But that's just what kids call it these days.
I think so.
Oh, well, I know Goonie.
Unless I'm so
I thought it was
old,
I thought it was
just
like a
don't get
special way, like a trick I didn't know.
I think. Well, I think edging is a part of it. Like when you're in your goon cave.
Okay.
Fuck me. I'll just
Crazy.
Google it.
Sorry, everybody.
Okay, yeah, it's edging. It's edging. Gooning in its most basic definition means acting. Oh no, that's not right. Maintaining a high level of sexual arousal for an extended period of time without reaching. It's edging. It's just edging. Or surfing, apparently.
This is what people tune in for. Is this high quality content? HQC, high quality content right here.
Yeah, it is. It's edging. It's what we olds call edging.
Yeah.
I guess.
Back in my day, we didn't even have a word for gooning. We did it.
Went to completion. We couldn't control ourselves. Anyway, yeah, Silo is tight. Nice. I was recently robbed of a great segue into a show I was been watching because it's also Irish. Bad Sisters.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Keep hearing about this
on
one.
season 1 still. I'm like 7 episodes into season 1. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because it's one of those things, and like I'm susceptible to this kind of stuff where it's like the show is doing too good a job at having a hateable character. Like this guy is so despicable.
Yeah.
That it like makes me uncomfortable to watch.
Like despicable, like Walter White style.
No,
or
he's like a narcissistic abuser kind of person.
So like Jessica Jones, David Tennant.
Yeah.
Slimy.
Yeah, it totally. And like anyone who's ever dealt with anyone like that, you're just like, okay, like this is real intense. Like, and it makes me just so like, But the show starts with his funeral. It's literally the first thing.
Nice.
So that's not a spoiler. It's the premise of the show.
Yeah.
And so it becomes kind of more of a how done it. Although I still don't really know who done it or how it happened really.
It sounds like a show that if I said the title, it would be a spoiler, but it was a show on HBO. That's all I'll say. With an all-star cast.
Okay.
Of women. Moving on.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yes. It's good. It's funny because it's like it's one of those shows where it's like I'm not enjoying this, except there are a lot of things I love about it, and when I'm not watching it, I think about it all the time.
Those are so interesting.
So I must like it. Yeah. But I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
So it's like really weird because like Gabby and Elise and all these people in my life are like, oh, Bad Sisters, it's so fun. And I'm like, it's great, but it like also makes me sad. Like,
you know what it reminds me of, Isla? Silent Hill 2 remake.
Oh my God.
I just don't want to play. I don't want to play it.
Flawless masterpiece, but it made me so much sadder than the original.
It made me sad. It made me sick. It made me uncomfortable. I just didn't want to fucking play it. Like,
yeah.
I'm playing the original for the first time right now. I love it.
Oh, really?
So I never played. I have a PlayStation. I wasn't playing video games at that moment in my life. I was like playing punk music, and I was like, I'm over games. Now I'm wearing a Ghost and Goblin shirt, so I'm not over games.
Yeah.
But like, I was at that moment. I thought I was. Yeah.
How are you playing it?
Through completely legal means on my original PlayStation.
I was gonna say the Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition is very, very good. It's the PC version that a crowd of people did a mods for, and it's probably the best way to play the OG game. Besides the new remake, is probably the best way to play just kind of the idea of the game. Anyway.
Cool. Yeah,
Whatever.
I'm probably going to move on and play the other ones when I'm done with part 1. Yeah, because I've liked what I've played of part 1 so far.
1, 3,
I'm like,
4,
these are cool.
Shattered Memories are sick as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and the new remake. Anyway, so Silo's sick. From had its season 3 finale. And it's still maintaining another gooning show. They're gooning us real good. Am I using this correctly, kids?
Yeah.
It's what they
Write
do
in and let us
now.
know.
It's so crazy. Like every fucking show, though. I'm glad you brought this up, Isla. I'm getting tired of it. I'm really getting tired of these shows
anytime somebody is like, oh, I hope it has another season, and I hope it has another season, I'm like, yeah, and I hope it's the final season.
Seriously.
I want every season to just be like, that's why I love limited series, because I'm like, well, I'll talk about it in a second, disclaimer, but like, unless I talked about it last month, but
it's great, like,
just finish it. I want a finished story.
And how they're doing like seasons in different parts now. They're like chopping
bananas.
them up. They take like 2 or 3 years to get a season, and then it's just a big goon. Like,
they doth goon? He thinks they doth goon too much.
They're practically the Goonies.
They're practically the Goonies. But on the flip side of that coin is Arcane, because I watched Arcane. I love so much about Arcane. Without spoiling too much, just vibes-wise, like, I'll say I really liked the romance in it.
Yes.
And I was shocked at how realistically depicted the romance was in a few ways, which was really cool. So that I thought was a pretty successful element. But, like, it's so crazy because initially they had planned 3 or more seasons, and then partway through they were like, nah, let's do 2. This costs $250 million a season or whatever.
So
we're going to pump the brakes on this. But you can really tell, like, season 2 starts pretty solid. Like, the first couple of episodes are, you know, they seem fine. But then the back 2/3, it's good, but it's so
compromised.
Well, it just feels like stuff is left out. It feels like things are just coming at you from everywhere at Mach 10, and nothing is given the space to have emotional depth or to even make sense sometimes. Like, some of the stuff that ends up being like the ultimate kind of conflict, I feel like wasn't really explained very well. So, like, there are all these emotional beats toward the end where you're like, this isn't really hitting for me because like I don't have the context or the like footing for it, you know, which is a bummer. And I don't know, maybe if you know more about the League of Legends lore, although I think it's fairly different in some regards, but like there are a few plot threads that are just kind of like, what? But yeah. But all in all, I mean, it's just so gorgeous that it's kind of worth watching just for that. The needle drops are absurd most of the time. Like, ooh boy, but whatever.
So you just said something that's so interesting to me. Like, the show seems so cool to me, and I've been so fascinated by it. But I don't play League of Legends. But it sounds to me like maybe you don't either, and I'm just cool. Just
100%. You don't need to play.
I would say that aside from a few pretty key things that like leans on in the last couple of episodes, you don't really need to know anything. And I think that those are just not explained because they kind of had to push the gas pedal down for the end of the series. But like, yeah, I've played League of Legends, but like you don't get much lore just playing League of Legends anyway. And they kind of changed a lot of it for the show, if I understand correctly. Anyhow, excuse me. Yeah, so you don't need anything. You can just watch the show. I watched Arcane, and I loved it. And I don't play any of the games. I've got Legends of Runeterra on my phone, but yeah.
Cool. Well, that's great. Yeah, I mean, just the art alone.
It's worth it just for the art, and and like the kind of just the. It's a tone poem, honestly. It's like lean into your like mid to late teens kind of goth steampunk emo self and just kind of go
there's
for
no
it.
leaning. That's just
That's just where you live.
Yeah. There's no leaning.
Lean into your like daddy never loved me kind of phase and just go all in on Arcane. My dad was a saint. Anyway, next I watched Disclaimer, which since we're on TV stuff, I watched Disclaimer, which is Kate Blanchett doing all kinds of stuff. I think it's 50% too long. I think that it's like I was talking with my friend about it, and I'm like, okay, I would have restructured this in a big different way, but I can't really talk about why without spoiling it. I would say all in all, it's very well acted, pretty well made. It's Cuarón, so it's got his Alfonso Cuarón, or however you say his last name.
So
correctly.
wild, that's him doing that.
It's wild, yeah, and it's funny because it's like I really like some of his stuff, and then some of it I think like he goes a little too him, you know? So like there are a few times where I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. You're doing the handheld thing right here because he's feeling emotionally turbulent, but like, whoa. Like Greengrass a little down here.
He Greengrass is protege.
Yeah, he's Greengrass's. The student has become the master. We'll have to call it Cuaroning. But disclaimer is pretty wild, all in all. And then
is it like a Severance type thing? Is it like a weird show, or is it a normal show?
It's
weird or normal.
It's both, but not in a Severance kind of a way. It is more
grounded weirdness.
It's grounded weirdness. It's just kind of like the things that are weird is like it are more like. I'm like, I get it, but I don't even think like Gen Z wouldn't be this like quick to cancel, like that kind of stuff. Where you're like, it strains credulity at a few points, but yeah, you kind of just have to go with it. But again, it's kind of a tone poem, and it's longer than it needs to be. But like, the actress who plays young Cate Blanchett is gorgeous. But that's neither here nor there.
She would need to be.
But. Yes, so I think that's it for TV. I saw, okay, so over Thanksgiving, we went to J Tree with Elisa, James, and AJ and Erica, and we watched a lot of movies. Some classics, Addams Family Values, always hits. The Addams Family movies are like the linchpin of my entire belief system and personality.
Oh yeah,
I love those films.
Batman Returns in the theater, Isla.
Oh, I love that. What?
Yeah.
Does the
Batman
MC
Returns?
Hammer song happen in the Addams Family Values movie?
I think in the first one.
I think this is only the Addams Family Values when MC Hammer has a song.
Oh, okay.
Where they're like, they kick and they slap a friend.
Oh, yeah, that's the
rap
end song.
Yeah.
What's
Okay, it's a
the
credit
lyric?
song.
Yeah.
Because he had like a hit single about the Addams Family that was like related to Addams Family Values, but I just didn't know it was integrated into the movie.
I think it's in the credits.
I listened to the shit out of that song. Yeah.
Is Wednesday a prequel?
The show Wednesday?
The show?
Yeah.
I don't know. I only watched half of it because it was a little too young adult for my taste.
Got it.
I was wanting it to be more kind of like the movies.
Got it. What's the lore on the hand?
That's Thing, baby.
What is Thing?
He's a hand.
Where did it come from?
I don't know.
Where did it go?
Cotton Eye Joe.
It's the hand of Cotton Eye Joe. It was cut off in a threshing accident.
They should make a horror movie called Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh my god. Is it in the public domain yet?
Part 2 could be Cotton Eyed Snow, and then it's like it's a bunch of blood on the snow.
Oh my god. All right, so I saw a movie called Hot Frosty, which is fucking terrible. I don't know why it has such a good run.
With a name like that? Yeah.
I don't know why it has anyone like it's not even so bad it's good. I mean, it kind of is because there's so many parts of it that are just so inexplicable. But like, okay, it is a story where Lacey Chabert or whatever wakes up like every single romantic comedy Christmas movie of the last 300 years, and everyone looks very weird in this movie. The color timing, the color grading is very blue, so it makes everyone look pallid. And I'm like, I get it. It's a ice, like there's a living snowman guy and like blah blah blah, but like everyone looks sickly, and it looks like they have like weird post effects on everyone's faces. And the guy from Schitt's Creek, who was like the hot vet, who was hot in Schitt's Creek, and like charming and interesting in that, is in this. and you're kind of more just like, oh, like drink some water. Like he seems so just dehydrated.
That was almost the voice of his girlfriend. Like, ew.
Yeah,
like,
ew, David.
Drink some water.
Drink some water, Hot Frosty. Stop taking Ozempic. Ew, Frosty. But like, no shade on him. I think partly it's just the way that it's like shot and color graded because everybody looks weird in this movie. But yeah, so she gets a magic scarf, puts it on a sexy snowman that no one appears to carve because they don't care when it goes missing because it comes to life. He like breaks a window. It's really stupid. It's an insane movie.
Wait, the love interest?
It's born sexy yesterday. It's born sexy yesterday. It's incredibly strange. He has very weird, like sometimes he'll be like he doesn't know that being naked is wrong, like, will be frowned upon by the citizens, but then he goes, oh, clothes, and breaks a window to steal some clothes, but he doesn't think that stealing would be a thing. But then like he's watching TV and like Nosferatu or whatever is on, and he makes a cross with stuff, and I'm like, okay, wait, so I think because I thought this when I watched it too, but like pitch meeting, they made a comment on this too. But like, it's just like, how does he have the cultural knowledge to do that? And then he, it's insane. It's very Lilu, where he like learns a bunch from TV and is just like whatever. And I mean, I guess it's refreshing to kind of even the score on Born Sexy Yesterday, get some men in there, but like, oof, it's a weird ass movie. Anyway,
that is weird.
Whatever. Who cares about Hot Frosty? I watched Megalopolis last night or a couple nights ago. Oh, yeah. The night we were going to shoot, Wednesday, but Huber was sick. So then I was like, let's watch Megalopolis.
Dude.
See, that's the problem. 2.5 hours. That's where it went wrong. Huber. We were discussing this before this show began. If it was like 3.5 hours, he might have been cooking.
Yeah. Dude, you are so right.
Have you seen it? Have you guys seen it?
I've not seen it.
Okay.
I am so curious. Spoil everything. I don't give a fuck. Just tell us your thoughts.
I don't even know how I could spoil it. But like, what's crazy is when it started off, first like.
Wait, before you start, I'm so sorry. Before you start. For until like a couple weeks ago, I thought the entire time up until a couple weeks ago, the entire like hype cycle of this movie, I thought it was a remake of Metropolis, or like
I would have watched the fuck out of that,
or like a reimagining. I thought they were connected somehow. I mean, and then I learned it was its own thing.
There are some loose elements. Like I could understand why you would think that.
He probably considers himself in the lineage of Metropolis, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
FFC
go ahead.
Definitely. Yeah, it's one of his predecessors. But yeah, okay. So for the first couple of minutes of this movie, maybe even 5 minutes of this movie, maybe even 10, I was like, I'm kind of enjoying this.
Yeah, some like Dark City energy or something.
Well, I realized partway through, I was like, okay, it's like trying to do, because it's like, it's clear unless I'm just completely misreading it and he has completely lost touch with reality. My initial impression,
yes.
my initial impression was that it was trying to do like a bombastic kind of farcical, like everyone's acting is so ridiculous and over the top, and like the dialogue is like, I think oftentimes intentionally funny or trying to be funny, and like people's body movements are so big, and the way it looks and feels and the pacing of it is, I think it needed to be a little tighter to achieve this, but like it seems like it's trying to do Romeo plus Juliet kind of bombasticity.
Sure.
Or maybe more like Julie Taymor's Titus.
No, that's a movie.
Oh my God, I love Titus.
He wishes,
he wishes. Titus is like the good version of this with Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, Titus rips. Yeah. Titus is basically like the good version of this, but like this is trying to do like a Shakespearean grand fable epic, told over a time period. But like, you know, that just breaks apart more and more and more as the movie goes on, and it becomes more and more unglued and becomes more and more like a bizarre, out of touch libertarian nightmare. Like, the casting choices aside, like intentionally putting problematic and canceled people in the movie is very strange. And also it's like, it was weird because it was like, okay, these characters are obviously like shitty, like bad people, but then like one of them ends up being like kind of a hero. So you're like, what the fuck? Like, what is the messaging of this? Because it's like they're despicable for half of the movie, and then they like turn around and do something, and it's just like, what's going on? And like, yeah, I don't know. The whole thing just kind of falls apart more and more and more, and gets more and more problematic and more strange. And the editing and the shot composition is like often kind of incomprehensible. Anytime any character is in a car, you have no idea where they are in relation to each other in space. Because like
it's just like the wheels are just like falling off.
For real. It's like the movie keeps going. There's like a whole section in the middle of the movie where it honestly feels like the movie forgot itself and just kind of kind of wandered off into another thing for like 20 minutes. And then was like, oh, right, yeah, let's do this again.
Can you imagine being in the bay with him and he's like, oh, do this, and you're just like, okay.
It's like, okay, man.
Oh, sure.
Give me some more of that wine. Yeah, it's...
He's like, now, cut now. And you're just like, all right.
Okay. It's wild. And like, there are so many times where, and you know, like, I love his Dracula, and like The Conversation is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, The Conversation is a perfect movie to me.
Godfather, all the
Godfather, yeah. Like, obviously,
like best of all time, yeah.
It's so wild because like a lot of his impulses are still there, and like he does some like, I don't know what you would want to call it, but like overt filmmaking stuff, like in Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I love, where it's like, okay, this is obvious rear projection, but like intentionally, like clearly intentionally noticeable, right? And like model work and stuff.
Yeah.
The artifice is heightened on purpose. Yeah. And like, I love that kind of stuff. It's literally one of my favorite like things. I wrote an adaptation of Nabokov's Invitation to a Beheading, and like the whole premise is that every location would be a miniature, and like people would be like shot in, and like it would be, you know,
so that everything just you were wondering if she's a genius or not. No. By the way, I just have this Nabokov adaptation.
Drama.
Listen, I need to get the rights. But like, I think it's a pretty good adaptation. I don't know. It's an incomprehensible book, but like, I mean, I love it, but whatever. Anyway, the point is, I say all that to say, not to toot my own horn, but to say that I love artifice, and like I love when it's heightened and filmmaking has drawn attention to it, you know. And so like there is a lot of that in Megalopolis. I think on purpose, hard to tell. Like in Dracula, you can tell, right? Mm-hmm. In this, you're kind of like, I think he's doing that on purpose. But then like other stuff happens, and like largely the stuff that involves CG, and like I don't know if they used AI or not. Like I wouldn't be surprised in the least. But like all the stuff with the CG, it's not even that the CG is like necessarily like bad. It's just like weird, and it feels like a crutch in a bad way, you know? Mm-hmm. Like some of the stuff is neat, but I don't know. It's not a good movie. It's like,
I was up to it. I was reading the behind the scenes, like a lot of that, and they just like improvised a lot, changed the script day of.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Had the actors just go. Yeah, and I feel like
there's a lot. Yeah,
that is a recipe that works like 1 out of 50 times. I feel like you'll get like a masterpiece where it like pays off, and the other times it's like, yo, have your shit ready to go. Like, what are we doing here? I heard he would go in his trailer and just like get blazed for hours at a time,
for days.
Yeah.
I mean, like I didn't know that thing about the improvisation, but that makes total sense because like Aubrey Plaza especially, but like a lot of the characters feel like they're in completely different movies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an insane clusterfuck of a movie. I mean, like I was never bored.
That's something.
like I was entertained because it's so insane.
Are you not entertained?
I will say the period where we were like, how far into this are we? How much is left? I will say there was 44 minutes left. So we started checking the time before a little past halfway, but yeah. All right, sorry. I went forever. We always go forever. Matt, what?
All right. I saw Nosferatu, the Robert Eggers one.
The new one?
Jealous.
Yeah.
You bastard. What the fuck?
Everyone has seen this. You're like the third person I've talked to that has seen this movie.
I've got my tickets for the day after Christmas.
Yeah, such a weird Christmas debut. Like that's
a
weird, but no, it's great. Like counter programming.
Money.
Is it? It's good, right?
It's gonna make money.
Fuck. Don't tell me it's not good.
I'm not gonna tell you it's not good.
I need it to be good.
Okay, so there's 4 big major Nosferatu adaptations films that I know of, which is the original Murnau, there's the Herzog, there's Shadow of the Vampire, and there's this one. I would place this one about third. It's good. It was fun. It was fun to watch. It was very horny. Extremely horny.
Vampires are horny.
Yeah,
vampires are sex.
If you're gonna make a horny movie and it's vampires, like that tracks.
In a
horniest movie of all time.
In a weirdly off-putting way, not in a vampires are usually seductive, right? In some kind, and like either sometimes they do it wrong, and you're like
Twilight.
Okay,
also rewatched during Thanksgiving.
Yeah. This one seems intentionally off-puttingly horny, if that makes sense.
Oh, this is hyping me up more.
Yeah, this is hyping me up way more.
And it seems like he's wrestling through some kind of weird psychosexual shit in his head, and he's like, and he's like, here, this is some stuff
has he gone full peck and paw?
So that's what I'll say.
Ooh, okay.
That's what I'll say. I don't want to say more, but beautifully shot. A lot of cool references to other big vampire movies. There are some beautiful sequences where I'm like, oh, cool. That's checking the Murnau Nosferatu with this shot. That's checking the Herzog one with this mirror shot. This feels like the Coppola, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it feels like a really kind of nice, loving homage in the same way that The Substance did those little checks to horror movie history throughout, which I thought those were kind of fun and nice. Yeah, it feels almost like
the nod.
Paying respects.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a freak and I'm okay with Ready Player One. I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Oh my god. You stop it.
I know.
Does it? I recently rewatched Vampire Hunter D and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Does it check those?
So I don't know if I recognized. Well, I don't know if I love those too. I own them. They're so good.
Yeah. I owned them already, and I rebought Bloodlust on Blu-ray because the DVD I had was full screen. And
it's so hard to find like a Japanese version of Bloodlust.
The Blu-ray
because
it's like
the English. The blue. Yeah, exactly. The Blu-ray only has English. Yeah, I had to like hunt it down online, but yeah, those are great. I love those. I don't know if he was doing any like references to those.
I'll let you know. Yeah. They're fresh, so
I think I've already probably said too much about that Nosferatu, the new one, but that's something to look forward to. I'll stop.
Should I go IMAX? It's a rhetorical question. I'm going IMAX.
I wish see it how you will. I think you'll find it worth watching. Yeah. What else did I see? I saw Nonora.
Wait, can I ask you if there's good like scenery shots?
Of course,
like a lot.
That's probably the thing I like best.
Then I'm 100%.
That's probably the thing I like best.
I love sumptuous, like high contrast black
New
and white.
New World, holy shit!
But it's not black and white.
No. But just like
it's wintry. It's wintry. Winter.
I only saw the first episode of the Netflix Ripley show, which was based on the Talented Mr. Ripley. I sort of wish they had just done a different story than the one we already kind of know. Maybe they branch out, whatever. But like, I thought that show was gorgeous. Anyway, whatever. Keep going, Matt.
Oh yeah, Anora. The Sean Baker
how was
Anora,
that?
because he did he did Florida Project, which is heartbreaking, especially hometown. What's that?
It won. This thing won Palme d'Or.
Yeah, Cannes. It did.
Yeah.
It was good. It's good.
Worthy of that. I mean, you win that, and it's like, okay, this is fucking parasiting.
I usually like the movies that win. I don't always think they're my favorite movies of the year, but it's pretty rare for me to see their movies and go, that movie was shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I really this is a good movie. I'd be surprised if this doesn't end up in my 10 of the year.
Oh, yeah.
I really like Tangerine as well.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned this, but I worked across the street from that donut shop.
Really?
On my favorite job that I've ever had was working on a job about Kelly Rowland and Destiny's Child. And shout out to very, very amazing boss, Audrey Smith. It's just so cool. And that donut shop was just literally
right there.
Right across the street.
I think it's a Trejo's Tacos now.
Yeah, it did. It did turn into that. Yeah. Oh, sorry, my cat just fell all over me. She's a clumsy little girl.
Love that.
She's wilding out tonight. But yeah, Anora, there's so much out there that's said about it, but it's got a lot of fun energy, and then until it's it breaks your heart.
Not as fun, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Dramedy,
so
for
fun
sure.
until that happens.
Yeah.
I saw Terrifier 3. I did it to myself. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Why do I keep watching these movies? Why do I keep doing it? I don't even know if I like them, but I keep doing it to myself.
Is so strong.
Yeah. I guess they're just our Nightmare on Elm Streets these days. They're not. They don't quite reach the height, but they just are. And I would say 2 is the best. 3 dips so much. 3 just really goes off the rails.
I hate when horror movies go off the rails, dude.
Yeah, it does. It's just some really weird shit. It's just, I don't know. Stop at 2. Don't even watch them. Don't watch any of them.
Stop at 2. Stop at none.
Watch Creep instead for real.
Watch Creep instead.
For real.
Don't terrify yourself. Here's what I like about Art the Clown. He is so happy. He points to the thing he did that's bad. Maybe I said this last time, and he's like, "Look at this.
I think you did.
It's so funny. It's so funny." And what it does, I realize, psychoanalyzing myself, is I have all these fears, about horrible stuff happening in the world. And there's this menacing clown who's like, "Look at your fear. It's not that bad." And, maybe, that
But
helps.
then he kills you.
Yeah, he does. But with a smile on his face. So, anyway, I got into Terrifier enough last time. But just wanted to say I concluded the trilogy so that you don't have to. I saw A Real Pain, the Jesse Eisenberg movie. I described it to Jessica as like just poking a bruise, It was emotionally painful. It was good.
Like for you specifically, or just kind of in concept?
I mean, anybody probably, with the, I don't know, feelings or friends or relatives or grief.
Feelings, yeah.
Yeah, or, they go to, their grandmother died who survived the Holocaust, so they go to Poland to go tour, some sites, and then, so it's about that, and it gets heavy. It gets heavier from there.
Oh,
spoilers, boy. And there's even heavier plot lines that I don't want to give away. So yeah, that's a heavy 90 minutes.
90 minutes though.
Yeah.
Movies should be 90 minutes or 4 hours. That's it.
Yeah, no in between.
No in between.
What are you doing? You don't know what, you haven't made up your mind. You haven't come up with a mission for
Commit.
Your movie. Yeah, exactly.
Commit to brevity or insane length.
Yeah. I saw Woobs, the old man, George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
Is
it good?
I heard it's good. I heard it's just fun.
So it's the best version that movie could be. It's very old man humor. It's very like, which I thought maybe I got a hint of that from the trailer. It's very much that. It's like,
a geezer pleaser.
Exactly. We're hitman and we're getting a little old. Oh, it's hard to jump over this fence now. I'm getting a little winded chasing this guy. It's not as easy being a hitman as it used to be. Yeah. But they're like both trying to like out masculine each other. Like, I'm a better hitman than you. Oh, my leg hurts. I got a cramp. Like, that's the kind of movie it is.
It's so fun seeing people of their status like poking fun at themselves. That's why like Tom Cruise is always the butt of the joke in his movies, and I really like that. Yeah, like that's fun. That's fun.
If you like either one of them, if you find either one of them charming, it's a good like. The topic of this episode is cozy.
Yeah,
this is a cozy movie. Yeah. It's a nice if you have a relative around, you don't know what to put on, and you're just like, this is harmless entertainment. Everybody can get behind. It's harmless. It's fun. Yeah, nice B-.
I mean, I love the Oceans. Well, 11 and 13 mostly, but like
12 has the cool laser part, right?
Was it you? Someone else just mentioned that to me like the other day, and we watched just that
iconic scene.
It's ridiculous.
It's so stupid, but so freaking awesome.
Because like afterward too, because he Vincent Cassel like dances through this with ridiculous like 2010 core music, but like dances through these lasers, and I was like looking at the wide shot at the end, and I was like, you could have just walked around like behind over here, like just duck down once over here and you're fine. Like ridiculous.
Entrapment did it better.
Entrapment did it better, dude. Yeah. I bet you're a 6, but you look good in a 4.
Oh, that's a pretty good.
He says that.
That's pretty good. What's the Rock quote? The Jessica always loves to say.
Darla was the prom queen.
Yeah, the prom queen quote. He's like,
losers
try their best.
Losers try their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. Darla was the prom queen. Carla, I think. We recently rewatched Mask of Zorro, dude. That movie rips. Holds up, dude.
Totally does.
You got any other ones, Matt?
Last one I would recommend is when you see Nosferatu on Christmas and you're like, oh, that guy is really charming from Nosferatu. The husband, I'm getting real charming vibes from the husband of Nosferatu. The TV show I've talked about before on here, The Great, about Peter the Great.
Nicholas Hoult.
It's very good. Very, very funny.
Talking about Nicholas Hoult, calling him the guy.
The guy.
The dude. I didn't memorize his name. It's the dude. The main dude. The husband.
Skins. One of the greatest shows of all time.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
The
first
Skins
class.
Dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Skins and he's in the first class of Skins. Pun intended. Yeah.
He is Peter the Great. It's about him and Catherine the Great, and Catherine the Great trying to overthrow him, and she wants to be in charge of the government, and it's very funny, and it's from the creators of the movie The Favorite, except for the director. The director,
he's busy.
Yeah, he's busy making other movies, but the writers, and it has a lot of the same tone. So good. What do you do? Good show.
The director
continuing to be good.
Kinds of Kindness.
Kinds of Kindness. Yeah.
Before that one? Poor Things.
I love that one. Oh, I love that one.
Lanthimos, yeah.
I love that one so much.
Yeah. Poor Things was great. Kinds of Kindness I thought was okay.
Oh, I love Poor Things.
Yeah. Poor Things. That's kind of what's been occupying me. Yeah.
I love that. All right. As is typical, now we'll get into the...
I went lightning speed, too.
No, this is trying. Great. We're here to talk. We're here to talk about our love for film, and that's what we're going to do. So we're talking about cozy classics to distract from troubling times. We've got a bunch of things written in by our patrons. Go to patreon.com/reactionshots to get involved in this conversation and get into the Discord. It's just $3. I think you'll love it.
Please do. Thank you for the comments. I can't wait to hear them. Sometimes I peek early, and I'm like, I gotta see them early. This time I'm gonna be surprised, though.
Oh, that's sweet. So we've already mentioned a few cozy classics like Goonies and Ocean's 11, and that kind of stuff. I'm curious how many of the patrons will overlap with our own, or if we've got some special ones that no one will think of, like Maverick.
Cozy.
That is.
You gotta now just kind of not think about Mel Gibson's checkered past, but
Oh, yeah, checkered.
Was he doing bad things back then? Maybe it's like a cutoff if he wasn't doing bad things.
I think it was definitely
He had a
pre-rant.
big rough patch.
It was definitely anti-Semitic rant.
What is it? There's no ethical consumption under capitalism. That includes Mel Gibson consumption.
Yeah.
Things are rough right now. Make yourself happy. What you know?
So Matthew D says Back to the Future is a total comfort movie. It has
baby.
built-in nostalgia, the dream of a better life, and cathartic wins. Boy, does it feel good when George McFly whips around and knocks Biff right off his feet. You are so right. Back to the Future
is a Hall of Fame cozy right there.
That whole series, I love all three. Yeah. Mount Rushmore is just the DVD covers of all three of those movies. And then, I don't know, Lord of the Rings.
Do you know what I find fascinating?
Yeah.
Is we are going into 2025 and they have not fucked with Back to the Future. Like, I'm knocking on the wood here. Like, that's pretty shocking.
That's because, like, Bobby Z makes those ironclad, like, they get, like, veto rights on everything on their...
Really?
They won't let anybody touch it, yeah. I don't know if Bob Gale's involved in that, too, the writer. I met him. I've been to his house.
That's great. This is for real? He, like, protects his movies or something? More?
I mean, yeah. I guess. I don't know.
Just everything's milked. Everything has revived. Everything.
Well, they made the game with AJ Locasio,
yeah.
our friend AJ Locasio in it.
I don't really count a game. Just with all the reboots
right,
of every like, you know, we were just talking about like Wednesday and shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Everything I feel like has come back, and it's.
I'm sure there's one around the corner. Who knows?
Baby Biff.
You're probably right.
Baby Biff.
You're probably.
Don't give them ideas.
Young Biff. Yeah.
They were going to do a new
Sheldon.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but that never happened.
Recently rewatched Honey, I Blew Up the Kid too. That holds up.
You did?
Yeah.
What?
Holds up, dude. Some of those effects, like some of the
Cozy,
effects,
dude.
some of the speaking of cozy, dude, I love those movies. Some of the effects are obviously, you know, very dated, but a lot of them in that movie specifically are incredible and look perfect because they just did it. They just had like forced perspective. They had like giant legs.
I gotta watch it again. It's been a minute. There's just two. Shrunk and Blew Up, right?
There is Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, which is the third one.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever really saw that one.
It's cute. It's the adult. It's the parents that
Maybe
get
I did.
shrunk.
Maybe I did. Okay, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I remember
I
they're
saw
like
the
running
first
around.
two a billion times.
Oh, for sure. The Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, the parents get shrunk and the kids have to save them, if I recall. It's
That's
been a hot couple of decades since I've seen that one.
That's so
Was there ever a
cozy.
debate just like, just leave them like that?
I think
If I was the kids, I would have just been like,
I think one of the teenagers might say that.
like messes with them. Yeah.
There's always this is a weird moment, but there's always a moment in the Honey, I Shrunk series where the moment they believe, or the moment they like
Beginning to believe.
well, the moment they like reach out and like the other people see them, or like, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like, oh, they see the kids.
It's like, hey,
Yeah.
hey!
Or it's like, or like the moment where they see the parents, or like, I just love in movies when like the truth is found out and they're like, oh, okay, everyone's on board. We all believe this.
Yeah,
now. Let's
it's so
fix
satisfying.
it. Like it's nice.
It's very
'Cause
satisfying.
So often things milk just like a misunderstanding, and I fucking hate that.
They goon the shit out of that.
They goon the shit out, but that doesn't feel good. You know, there's good
No.
gooning and there's bad gooning.
Yeah, it's like
next
tease
episode, good gooning
Yeah.
versus bad
Next-
gooning.
Next episode gooning is good. You know, meet the parents. This could all be solved by telling the truth one time. Gooning is bad. John McCullough says, like others have mentioned, Lord of the Rings is a major immersive comfort trilogy for me, and anytime I rewatch them becomes a nostalgic therapeutic soak in Middle-earth's atmosphere and lore, and maybe most importantly for me, the music. I'm also... Oh my god. Yeah. It's god tier.
So good.
They're also a big fan of So Bad They're Good movies, and particularly emotional time in my life recently. My roommate and I ended up expressing our grieving through binging all of the live action CG Resident Evil movies.
Nice. Those are
all
good.
of the live action and CG Resident Evil movies, and all of them just seemed to hit exactly what we needed. Welcome to Raccoon City is a guilty pleasure of ours, unfortunately. I thought that one was maybe the best of the live actions, isn't it? We watched it.
Yes. 100%,
I liked that one.
Yeah. 100%. And the first one, the very original.
The first one, yeah.
I like it a lot.
You're all gonna die down here.
Yeah. And then the animated movies, the CG movies are really cool.
I've heard those are good. I haven't really seen them.
They're fun.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. I mean, it seems like we're going to be talking about Lord of the Rings a couple of times, but oh my god,
it could be number one.
It's probably up. Yeah, like whew.
Yeah.
My favorite internet boys, Mr. Sunday Movies, are doing Lord of the Rings currently on Caravan of Garbage, so you should check that out.
I can't believe a new Lord of the Rings movie is coming out.
War of the Rohirrim, dude.
It's pretty wild.
I'm kind of into it.
I'm going IMAX.
Fuck yeah.
I'm going
Animated
IMAX. Lord of the Rings.
All right. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm into it, dude. Brian Cox.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
Tokyo Slim also says, when I want to get distracted from the world TM, I put on Lord of the Rings. I mean, you can clearly make parallels to modern day events in the story and characters and to World War One. But it's such a well-realized world to me that it pulls me right in, and I don't tend to overanalyze it. I also have been watching Dan to Dan or Dawn to Dawn lately, and I'm greatly enjoying it.
Yeah.
Also, they say Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Since it's not really a thing in Japan, I'm thinking I might go buy stuff myself full of conveyor belt sushi. That's nice. That's jolly. That's cozy. Duff says, lately I've been getting by rewatching some of my favorite clips from movies and shows when I don't have the time to sit down and rewatch the whole thing. Dude, I do that same thing where it's like I want a hit of Fleabag, but I don't have time to, watch the whole thing. So it's like I'll watch like a couple of scenes and then I'll just kind of replay the whole thing in my head and I'm like, okay, we did it. Like I recently did that with the show The Patriot, which Huber is a son of a bitch and never fucking watches it. But
he's a great man. He's edging you.
He's edging me. Yeah, you're gooning me, dude.
The payoff is going to be marvelous.
When we finally get to come on The Patriot, it'll be incredible. But yeah, I rewatched the first 20 minutes of that and I was like, right, sick. Yeah. And it's like rewatching the whole thing when you remember it,
Yeah.
Duff continues, stuff like the grand finale of Speed Racer, the portal scene from Avengers Endgame, a plethora of scenes from Doctor Who, hell yeah, where the Doctor just lays down some of the meanest trash talk I've ever heard. I'm the Doctor and you're the biggest library in the universe. Look me up. Has to be an all-timer. I remember that episode. I like that episode. Dude, I love Doctor Who, man. I gotta catch up on the new stuff. Shin Kamen Rider got a full rewatch from me. I get the warm and fuzzies from its recreations of set pieces from the original 70s series, embracing the camp and a bunch of stuntmen dressed as bugs fighting while a bitchin' remix of the original theme song blares trumpets over everything. Show-wise, I like the ending of Arcane and its willingness to use the games as a starting point rather than a finish line for its characters. Nice. It's true. I'm also liking is it Dawn to Dawn? Or Dan to Dan? I don't know.
I haven't watched the show yet, but I would imagine it would be on.
If it's Japanese, I think it's Dawn to Dawn, yeah. It's like a nice modern Fooly with its look at adolescence. That's big praise.
Yeah, that's a huge compliment, yeah.
Though episode 7 might have been one of the hardest things to watch I've seen in an animated show all year. Complimentary. I'm really grateful for you, Isla. And have been excited for your stuff for over a decade now. You're one of the funniest people I watch. Oh, if you can't be happy, then be angry, because that will get more stuff done. The only time you've lost is when you're gone. Yeah. Well, thanks. Oh.
Hell yeah. Love that.
Yeah. We came up with this concept for this episode a little bit after the election, so yeah. Our favorite to pronounce, Fede Krau. Fede Krau.
Hell yeah.
A movie that has become a recent classic to me that always lifts up my spirits is Klaus. It's an animated movie on Netflix. I've heard this is actually really
Yeah.
tells the origins of Christmas from a postman's perspective.
I'm watching it this week.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna do it. You've inspired me. Yes. This is great. Some Christmas viewing.
Touching and emotional, and it's appropriate to recommend now considering the season.
Perfect.
On the TV side, My Hero Academia is an incredibly uplifting story about heroism and empathy. It's endlessly optimistic, but never naive in its optimism. That's a tough line to walk, actually.
Yeah, it is. Because you need that a lot of times, but if it goes too far, then you're like, I don't buy it. And then it's just
exactly.
It's depressing when you don't buy it. Then you're more depressed than before. Yeah.
Or it gets like irritating, where it's like you're being like willfully obtuse in your optimism. It's not a story that tells you can overcome anything you set your mind to, but a story that acknowledges the societal problems that are obstacles for a better society and how we can still do what we can to improve the lives of those around us. Anything else? Happy Silo is back season. It's my favorite time of year. Hell yeah, baby, Silo.
Nice. I'm glad I started it.
Everyone hates Silo but us. I love it.
They're not liking season 2. The word on the streets.
No. People like it. I just know. I know some people like Matt. You know, some people bounce off it just because it's such a fucking bleak show.
Sure,
I find it oddly cozy. I don't.
Same.
I'm built wrong.
I like the location, you know, just in the I like if it just feels cozy. I don't know.
Yeah. I just love. There's something
Gurren Lagann live action Gurren Lagann.
I don't know anything about Gurren Lagann.
Gurren Lagann.
Enough,
Oh, that's probably my favorite anime I've had.
Ooh.
I need to
Lagann,
take like 6 months off of my entire life of games and movies and like catch up on every single anime that's relevant. Many.
Yeah, there's just something about like high concept sci-fi that makes my mind feel cocooned.
Yeah.
I'm like it's like a warm bath. I'm like,
Silo just has those episodes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We're like 30 minutes into a Silo episode or like 20 minutes in, you're like, oh, this is good. It's just like, fuck. You like understand kind of the flow of the episode and what it's doing.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this is so good.
Episode 1 of season 2 is like pretty epic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's epic.
Fede says, you'll have to forgive me this month's corrections. We're ending the semester in 10 days. And as a grad student, that means a lot of serious research instead of podcast research. We forgive you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that anyway. Cotolito says, much in the same way I listen to aggressive music when I'm angry, horror is my movie and TV comfort food. Yeah, hell yeah. But we have talked so much about Alien and The Thing that I will instead go to straight to the classic anime of the month, since it also ties into the episode theme. Macross Plus is finally out on Blu-ray outside of Japan and Italy. Oh, sick. This is a release 29 years in the making, and as far as I know, the first American/wide European release since 2005. This is a big deal for me personally, since the movie version is one of my favorite anime of all time, and I have never seen the 4-episode OVA version until now. I owned the movie on VHS in the 90s, but it got lost in some moving shuffle, and I only recently managed to track down a secondhand copy of the 2002 DVD. I get caught in the 2002 cycle because we say 2020. 2002 DVD release. And boy, does it hold up in glorious HD. The story follows two test pilots who are rivals both in the air and in the love of their childhood friend, who is the manager of an AI pop star. It's the basic three cornerstones of Macross: fighter plane mechs, love, and pop music.
I was going to say, is this the one that's the musical, right? Because I remember thinking there was like a Macross thing, like maybe, but at least this one that has the music stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was an anime fiend in the late 90s and early 2000s when I had a disposable income and no bills. I would just go to Suncoast Video, baby, and buy all kinds of shit.
Buy 3 episodes of anime for like $35. Yeah,
it's insane. Yeah. Insane, dude. Like Escaflowne, like
Escaflowne is cool. She was all into the tarot cards. I love Escaflowne.
I was actually like recently wanting to rewatch Escaflowne because the last time I saw it, because I love Escaflowne, I remember always loving it, but the last time I watched it, I was sick. I was like literally, it was honestly kind of awesome. I had like insane fevers. I've talked about this before, I think, but I had like insane fevers, so it was kind of like melding in and out of my reality. I was like, I couldn't really, it was wild.
Yeah.
And I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, it's kind of okay for that, you know? Yeah.
Escaflowne, dude. Human triangle drama and writing brings more heft and depth to the story than most other installments of the franchise. The animation is gorgeous, stands out even among other high-budget shows and movies of the 90s. It also features a killer soundtrack by Yoko Kanno. Oh yeah, Cowboy Bebop and Escaflowne. That was one of the first OSTs I ever bought on CD and still listen to frequently almost 30 years later. Yeah, I've got Cowboy Bebop on vinyl right over there. Yeah. I recently rebought Cowboy Bebop. I have the DVDs, but I recently rebought it on Blu-ray because Sophia's never seen it.
Patrons, on your for the next month, put a yes or no at the end of your entry. Do you, in real life, ever say, "Keep those eyes open"?
Oh, yeah.
I want to know. We want to know.
We were wondering about this before that we filmed because Huber and I say, "Keep those eyes open," like all the time. Do you say, "Keep those eyes open"?
Like I will be. I will be in my living room watching a movie at like 2 a.m, and in my head I'll be like getting sleepy, and I'll say, "Keep those eyes."
Maybe I'll skeet out a Blue Sky and see if people say that.
I need to say it now because I have narcolepsy. I recently developed narcolepsy.
Oh no!
Maybe it's just a way to cope with the times.
As if you didn't have enough other shit going on.
It's just like what's that movie, My Own Private Idaho, where he would just like River Phoenix just like fall asleep randomly. Oh, one of the best movies ever. It's My Own Private Idaho. Check it out. I mean, it's fucking incredible. Yeah. Just the acting between Keanu Reeves and River Phoenix. Oh, yeah. Chills. Yeah, so good. Anyway.
But apparently...
I'll be saying that too.
Keep those eyes
Keep those eyes
Apparently, Disney Plus recently acquired the rights for Macross. So it's rolling out in regions around the world. So hopefully, except for the original show and movie that's still in Harmony Gold Jail, whatever that means. But they recently they're working on releasing it. Finally, to you, Isla, Huber, and Matthew, and everyone else in this community that get affected directly by the shittiness of these times, don't hesitate to reach out to those around you in times of need. Don't let idiots and demagogues get the best of you, and don't ever lose hope. We can only build a better world together. Love and respect.
Thank you.
That's so kind. Well, back at you. Thank you.
You gotta give them hope.
Yeah, I think...
Harvey Milk, you gotta give them hope.
Yeah. It's true. I think that Codalito does not live in America, so they're saying, like, are you saying that you can get us out? Are you saying save us?
Wow. Yeah. I mean...
Blink yes if you can airlift us to Sweden.
Thank you. That's nice. I mean, that's
I mean, my wife and I registered our marriage in Norway for reasons, so who knows? Anyway, not to get too into the weeds. Garrett Hallfish says, I'm not usually one for rewatching movies, but Rian Johnson's The Brothers Bloom, dude. Holy shit.
Brothers
this is
Bloom,
one of mine.
Top tier cozy.
Oof. I was just talking about this the other day. Anyway, I'll read your thing and then I'll gush about Brothers Bloom. Is my exception. I've seen this at least a dozen times and I've shared it with new friends and partners. It rides the line perfectly between drama and comedy with a solid cast as well. Adrian Brody, Mark Ruffalo, and Rachel Weisz have great chemistry with each other. I'll definitely watch this one again. Dude, The Brothers Bloom is one of my favorite movies. It's crazy because like the first time I watched it, it didn't really quite land for me. And then I saw it a second time and I was like, oh no, this is like excellent. It's perfect. I love it.
I had my old manager at PF Chang's. We used to get through shifts, we would do movie quotes. And like, you say a quote, what's it in? We do back and forth. One day he just brings me that movie, the DVD, hands me it, and it's just like, watch this. You have to watch this. Dude. And I did, and it was great.
It's such a good movie. There's a place in LA that I love called the Museum of Jurassic Technology. If you ever have a chance to go, please go.
Don't look it up, just go.
Don't look into it. The less you know, the better. Knowing that it's one of my favorite places on earth is probably enough to get sort of an idea. And what I'm about to say is that they have a display of Ricky Jay's dice collection.
Yes.
Who was now he's no longer with us, but he was a magician and a comedian and a performer. And he is the narrator, inexplicably, in The Brothers Bloom. And he features in, I don't know if Ryan Johnson was friends with him or whatever. He has a little cameo as a photograph, I think, in Knives Out also, or in Poker Face. I'm misremembering, but I know that's in one of those. And he seemed like he was in a couple episodes of X-Files, I think. Anyway, Ricky Jay.
I want to believe.
I think he's in Boogie Nights.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. So every episode can't go by without me doing some completely shameless name drop, this is when I met this person. But I just enjoy it because they're favorite memories of mine. That's why I share them, just because they're fun. They're exciting to me. But Ricky Jay, I met him in such a fun circumstance. I was at a very, very early screening of There Will Be Blood.
Oh, wow.
And it had, I guess it was Paul Thomas Anderson and Daniel Day-Lewis, and they hadn't shown it for that many people, and they seemed really surprised that everyone liked it. Somebody in the audience was like, this movie seems like Citizen Kane, and they were like, what? Really? What? They were like, wow, well, we'll take that compliment. Obviously that movie is incredible. It's just kind of accepted now as it is. It always existed in my mind. How could that movie not exist? But then when I left the theater, I guess Ricky Jay had been there because it was just some of his friends had also been at the screening, and it was a little bit of this sounds so ridiculous, just a little bit of fog at LA at night, and Ricky Jay was standing under this lamp, and he was just practicing a card trick by himself under this lamp. But just recently I had seen that exhibit at probably the day before or something like that at Jurassic Technology about the dice, about Ricky Jay's dice. And I knew him from the Paul Thomas Anderson movies and that exhibit, and that was about it. I just didn't know a lot about him. And I was like, oh, hey, I just wanted to say, I just saw your exhibit at Jurassic Technology and I really like your stuff. Anyway, thanks. And he was just like, oh, cool, you saw it? Thank you. And he just kept practicing.
I didn't know they had it back in 2007. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then that was it. No, yeah. And I was like, oh, well, that was cool, but it was just so atmospheric.
Counter, yeah.
Just a very, for a magician, probably some people consider him one of the best that have ever been around. I was just very, it's kind of almost spooky. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was cool to run into him that way. Yeah. He has good books on magic.
Oh, really?
If you look up his books, he has books on the history of kind of con artists and magicians, but with tons of diagrams. I think one's called Learned Pigs and something like that. Anyway, look up a book called Learned Pigs, and he has a thing about people who taught pigs to talk. Anyway, yeah, cool. Sorry. Going down the Ricky J side path.
Shout out to the Prestige. Anytime magic is mentioned, you gotta mention the Prestige. It's the law.
Now I'm just thinking about the Magic Castle.
Yeah.
Because there's like, he's up on the wall in there and stuff.
He does like David Mamet movies too, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Red Belt.
Is that when he's in?
That's a David Mamet movie, I think. Good movie.
Yeah.
I believe it is. Yeah. I've never seen, I think it's a David Mamet movie, but I haven't seen it. State and Maine.
That one. Alec Baldwin's in there. He's pretty
Alec
funny.
Baldwin's in it. But somebody described a scene to me, and I think about it all the time, and I want to watch that movie, but where Alec Baldwin gets in a car accident, and then he just like gets out of the car, and he just goes, well, that happened.
Yes, it's the best part of that movie. It's so hilariously played. Yes, it's worth seeing the whole movie just for that moment.
I love some of his delivery. We're just flying off on tangents everywhere now, but like I think about what is it, In the Shadow. Some of this is just deadpan comedy that he does. I mean, he does it all the time in 30 Rock, but like there's that magic demon knife in that movie, and then this guy's like, where's the knife or whatever, and he's like, what knife? And then he's like, or you know this knife, you know, and he shows him the demon knife, and it like screams at him, and he goes, oh, that knife. Anyway, stupid, whatever, never mind. Brothers Bloom is excellent. I love the Brothers Bloom. Please, everyone watch it. Zach Wojnar, all movies qualify to an extent. They show us our potential. But for movies that are pure carefree comfort, I look to the all-time classics like Grease, Tremors, hell yeah, and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, yeah. When things are bad, I also look to Terminator, which shows that things might be bad, but even if they are so bad that the world is literally annihilated, humanity can still rally together to clinch out a victory in the face of utter defeat.
No fable what we make.
No fable what we make. It's just a shame it might actually have to go that far for us to realize that we are all on this planet together. Yeah.
And of course, what we make for ourselves. She used to say that.
And of course, Star Trek. In that story, it's only after we destroy ourselves that we come together as a species, solve our problems, and look to the stars after realizing that the human adventure is just beginning. To me, the whole thesis of Star Trek and all of life is summarized by this simple line from Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. Turn death into a fighting chance to live. Oh. I love Star Trek, dude. I love Star Trek.
Yeah, you
TNG
do. You
is
and Damiani.
Yeah, Next Generation is a comfort thing for me, too.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Galaxy Quest, that one's tough, though, because my mom really loved it. And so, like, it's always been one of my favorites, too. But now it's like, it might obliterate me. It's like psychically to watch that.
Extra memories. There are things like that where just like, you know, like grandfather that passed, you know, for me, who I was pretty close to, and just like, oh, I'm going to go watch this movie that me and my grandfather
Right.
Yeah.
Raymond Wheeler III says, any of the Toy Story movies come first to mind. That or stuff like The Matrix, Mad Max Fury Road, Blade Runner 2049, or Fight Club. Just some light themes of identity, purpose, freedom, and existential questions. I mean that for the Toy Story movies, of course. Dude, it's so funny, though, because like Mad Max does kind of have that vibe to it, where it's like putting on Lightning Bolt or something, where it's like the amount of noise like calms the brain, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
Blade Runner, dude. 2049. What a masterpiece. Fucking love that sound. Play the Blade Runner video game. It's on GOG. Colin Luton. This is actually perfect timing. Months ago, I pre-ordered Discotek's remaster of Digimon the movie, and it finally arrived yesterday. Wow. Just when I needed it most. Digimon has unique access to an exploit in my brain that makes me cry hot, ugly tears at the slightest emotional prodding. I have no idea why. Just basking in the purity of childhood and friendship, I guess, and remembering how the show felt singular in acknowledging the complex inner emotional world of children and how it made me feel seen as a kid in a way I couldn't articulate at the time. Digimon goes hard, dude. Yeah, for real.
Digimon and Pokemon fans like each other or no? Is there a rivalry there?
On the playground.
Yeah, just see kids punching each other over
Like West Side Story on the opposite side. They're like,
the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'm gonna get hardcore into Digimon, dude. Let's go.
I mean, to me, Digimon was like kind of the like realer version of Pokemon. You know, like the not realer as in more, you know, but more capital R real. You know, like it got me. You know.
Sick.
It's goth Pokemon. Anyways,
Digimon Masters.
Digital world.
well, what's Anamorphs? If Digimon is goth Pokemon, then
it's pervy Pokemon. There was always something, I don't know. I never really read Anamorphs. The covers were always just like, this is like a weird thing, huh?
Animorphs is so dark. Holy shit!
You told me that it gets like really fucked up, right?
Dude, it is extremely dark.
That's crazy.
Like suicide and shit. This is like themes.
I couldn't believe it once I heard what was in those books because my brother, he was younger than me, was like reading them all the time. He's adorable, like the greatest guy. But I didn't know he was like reading all this like super dark shit when he was like 8 years old. Over in his room. Yeah.
It's always crazy when kid stuff is just like shockingly goes hard for a second. You're just like, whoa. Anyways, Digimon the movie, as we got it in America, was Fox Kids' response to the success of the first Pokemon movie. It was a hasty re-edit of the first 3 Japanese-only OVAs to make them seem like a cohesive single movie-length story. Excuse me. A little explanatory voice over here, a ska song there, a dub full of puns and one-liners, and voila! A bizarre artifact of the early 2000s American anime scene. The cool thing about this Blu-ray is it includes those original 3 OVAs too, complete with new, more faithful dubs with most of the original cast. It's the first time they've been officially available in the States. It's neat. Sadly, it does not include the Angela Anaconda short before the movie, so it can't be called the definitive version. Yo, that's interesting. I love like weird history stuff like that, where it's like, oh, okay, they just puked these things together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Digital world.
I thought that was the last one, but then Patreon actually loaded, and we've got a few more, so that's fun. JG, dude.
Yes.
JG Wentworth.
JG Wentworth.
I always have to wait to see if Huber's going to do it or not. Goodfellas is definitely a sort of comfort film for me. It feels infinitely
that's an interesting
watchable.
comfort.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I mean, it is. Everyone has their like movies that are just like hits, but
my sister,
comfort cozy movie. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My sister and I used to rewatch Les Miserables, the Liam Neeson non-musical version, over and over and over again as kids.
Nice.
I don't know why. As good as it gets, also for me, it was a huge comfort movie when I was really depressed. Anyway,
Goodfellas, huh? Go get your fucking shine box.
Mm-hmm.
This guy used to shine fucking shoes. Go get your fucking shine box.
10. Oh my god.
it just feels infinitely rewatchable to me, maybe because it flows so nicely. I also just wanted to say that I've been catching up on Easy Allies streams and saw one where Huber ranted about Joker 2. I just want to say I loved the movie. While I really disliked the first one, Folia Do comments on everything that felt so wrong about the fan reaction to the first one. It's a film that aims to criticize the Joker fandom.
I cannot do these takes.
You're going to slide on a chair.
I cannot do these highbrow takes of like, it's actually commentating on you, the watcher.
I mean, isn't it though?
Watching
isn't
the first one. It's like,
I've heard
fucking
that's like
cares? It's a shitty
the
movie.
purpose of the movie.
God.
Maybe that's why, yeah.
Do you want me to keep reading the comment or no?
There are a lot of. There were some gifs. There were like 10 gifs I just saw happen.
Huber's face. Like,
yeah.
This is the pendulum swing. I don't know when they saw it, but the pendulum swings are so insane because this is now the third human in the last month that has praised Joker 2. Now everyone is like,
human.
Now everyone is like, Joker 2 is actually so good.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with liking a movie.
No,
you know?
of course. This is not directed at you whatsoever. Joker 2 triggers me personally. I get triggered. It's all internal. Not at you.
You know, the director's an equal opportunity offender. They got some people with the first and other people with the second. It's like South Park. We're just pissing everybody off.
Pisses everybody off. In a way, they feel bad about the social outcast Arthur, but will laugh in the face of another, like the little person Gary. Only when Arthur becomes self-aware about his situation, they turn on him in the movie and in real life, funnily enough, and become exactly like the people they think they deserve to get shot on national TV. I think the film is one of the best meta-narratives I've seen in a while. That's all. Hey, yeah. I mean, that seems like that was the project, that they were trying to, like, flip it on the people who read Joker 1 the wrong way.
I'm so curious, but I couldn't bring myself to watch anything related to the first one again.
I can't get behind the music. I'm sorry, it's bad music, first of all, in a musical. Like, the music's got to be good. There's no good songs.
And it needs to propel the story forward instead of just hit pause.
Every time a song comes on, the movie pauses. Like,
that's a big pet peeve of mine in musicals. JG also says, P.S. I'm extremely thankful to Matthew for making me aware of this show called The Prisoner. I just watched the final episode, and holy shit, it was amazing. Thanks. Are you talking about which The Prisoner? From the 60s?
With, what's his name?
Yeah. Well, that would be me and Hubert. We're all fans, right? Yeah, I think that might be a
if you're talking about,
you've told me about it, and I want to watch it so bad.
If you're talking about The Prisoner from 1967, starring Patrick McGoohan, and Matt's getting credit for this?
No, I mean, I've loved it since I was in high school, so...
That's a slight.
But you have probably been on podcasts going around the globe.
I've been talking about The Prisoner for years,
This is true.
I love the. No, hey, I don't care. I don't care how you got there, JG. I'm happy you're on board. If we're talking about,
they're just sitting in love. They're just sitting in love.
Yeah, I am thrilled that you're. I
got hit with the shrapnel first.
I love The Prisoner. It's one of my favorite shows.
I've thought about getting that little bicycle tattoo.
I have too. I've thought about it too. I have thought about it too. I feel like it'd be too hipstery or something.
I know, that's the thing, the look of it, but I do love it that much. I do love it that much.
No, I've thought about getting prisoner tattoos as well. I was like, what could I do that's like weird and obscure, but still from it? And there's, I don't remember who did it, but there was a recent, like, pretty great retrospective that a guy on YouTube did about The Prisoner. And, obviously Patrick McGoohan was like a control freak and a maniac and like made the show happen, but also was like, probably pretty hard to work with, but like in a weird, not in like a, he didn't do anything like terrible, I don't think.
It's a professional that's committed to his craft.
A little hardcore maybe, but
with how precise all those sets look, you can tell there's someone behind it who's like,
and I think just like pretty alcoholic maybe, if I recall. I don't want to tell tales out of school. I don't remember.
But that's what happened with the final episode.
Dude, the final episode, he had to go into hiding. We've talked about it to death, but The Prisoner is incredible.
Did you know that Christopher Nolan was considering a film version in 2009?
I did know that. I wouldn't want that to happen, I don't think.
Me neither.
Because the TV show that happened around that time, despite having Jim Caviezel and Ian McKellen in it, was not great.
No. It referenced September 11th. It was not good.
This is why I looked this up. Actually, this I was like, aren't they remaking it? Aren't they doing something? Nolan was once again tied to a potential film adaptation in 2024.
Dude.
There's rumblings.
I mean, maybe it'll be good. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. Yeah. I mean, The Simpsons referenced it like 40 times.
I find him too sterile for the Prisoner.
The Prisoner is
Nolan has some joy in it. Do you know what I mean?
It needs to be goofy. It needs to have a little bit of goof.
Yeah, exactly. Nolan is not a goofy guy. He's, you know what I mean? Like
Isla criticizing Tarantino, I can handle. You now criticizing Nolan. This I can't do it. I can't do this.
Well, I like Tarantino.
I mean, I love Inception. Inception is like one of my favorites. But like I find like so many things in the Batman movies really impressive. But like the Prisoner's so goofy. And is zany, and that's not his tone. It's like when you said the casting was wrong on Gladiator. It's that kind of thing.
Okay.
But I think like if they do like inject it with that, like if he has the actors or the writer or the editor or somebody, the set designer injects it with that, I do think Nolan's like kind of like puzzle brain mentality could serve The Prisoner in an interesting way. What I don't want is like a gritty reboot of The Prisoner, because like the whimsy was like part of the weaponry of the show.
Got it. Cool.
But anyway,
that's the tattoo, the woman with the umbrella.
This could be. This could be. You could, because I haven't seen The Prisoner. I don't know, but it sounds maybe like Guy Ritchie would be a good fit.
Yeah.
Split the S the D.
Split the difference. S the D.
S the D. Okay.
S the D on that one.
S the D.
Goon the D a little. Just goon the difference on that one. Jason Wojnar. You know who would be good, actually? Would be Shiza Manelli. I had it and then I lost it. In Bruges.
Fuck.
McCullough.
McDonough. Matthew McDonough.
Whatever. No. Yeah.
I know you Todd McDonough.
Yeah, whatever. Him.
Liam McDonough. Is that it?
Filmmaker.
Is it McDonough?
Not Liam. I don't know what it is. Whatever. It's late. We're tired. Maybe him? But he's pretty sad. I don't know. Whatever. Fuck it. Jason Wojnar. I don't think there are movies that distract from the world around me that I come back to time and again to feel better, but there have been moments when a new movie I saw reinvigorated me and reminded me of the power of the medium at personal lows. Del Toro's Pinocchio is a relatively recent example. Anything else? With Tarsem Singh's The Fall, I love The Fall. In the spotlight again, thanks to Mubi. They got a 4K re-release.
Dude, Fall's been hyped lately.
The Fall is incredible. Have you seen it? It's so good.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's also important to acknowledge Georgian-born Armenian director Serhei Parajanov, whose film The Colors of Pomegranates, I've heard of that, have heavily influenced Tarsem Singh's visual style. It's also evident in The Cell, the Losing My Religion music video, and directly referenced in Lady Gaga's 911 video. Did Tarsem do that video? Because Sophia showed me that video and was like, it's a lot like The Fall.
Probably.
That's funny if he did it. I didn't know that. He had a pretty fascinating life. He spent years in jail on trumped-up charges by the Soviet authorities. Jeez. His first wife was murdered by her family in an honor killing, and he directed Shadows of Forgotten Ancestors in the early 60s, which revolutionized Ukrainian cinema. Holy shit.
That is gnarly.
I've heard of The Colors of Pomegranates. And I should watch that. That's bananas.
Yeah.
Woof. Armenian. If you like Armenian folk, polyrhythmic, experimental Armenian folk jazz, check out Tigran Hamasyan. He was my #1 artist on Spotify this year.
I didn't know he had a movie last year. Dear Yassi.
Tarsem Singh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I recently saw it. He had something new, and I was like, oh, Tarsem's back.
Yeah. Dang, I should watch this. This sounds great. A young couple desperately want to be together, but they're separated.
Yeah, I mean, to circle back to that first thing you said, Jason, like, that for me, like, I get from movies what some people describe getting in, like, church or you know, and I get it at concerts too, I suppose, but, like movies are my religion, kind of. Like, I get that, like, kind of rapturous, you know, transcendent kind of feeling from them sometimes. And yeah, so often I'll see something that lifts me up out of the depths. I find it such a powerful medium.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Uzi Suicide. If I'm feeling depression or the world seems overwhelming, usually that's the same thing. I tend to pick out films with characters who overcome those obstacles. Yeah, I do that too. Christmas time can be formidable, so It's a Wonderful Life is perfect for reminding me that no man is a failure who has friends. Yeah, I like watching movies with these positive truths being reinforced and realizing that before and after my existence, others have had similar hardships and thought patterns. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is another that reminds me, despite the world being a hard, brutal place, we are the music makers and we are the dreamers of dreams. In other words, we can feel helpless, but we are in control of our own destiny and creativity. Nothing can stop us if we have belief in who we are.
No faith but what we make.
No faith but what we make. Just to list a few more in this overwhelming genre for others to seek out, As Good as It Gets. Yeah, that was a huge one for me. Radio Flyer, On the Waterfront, Spartacus, and The Place Beyond the Pines. Too many great quotes and scenes from these movies to list here. But if you know, you know. And if you don't, watch these films and feel better about your place in the world.
Whoa. Place Beyond the Pines, Cozy? That's
I haven't seen that one. I don't know.
That is a fucking pick for Cozy. Dude. Wow. Okay. I love it. Uzi Suicide, living up to his name.
Classic Uzi Suicide. Yeah. No, I used to watch...
Gosling motorcycle movie, right?
Yeah.
I used to watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the OG, like all the time in Latchkey. I would make them put that on or Newsies when I was a kid. Latchkey, sometimes I assume people know what that is, but they don't. It's where you stay after school if your parents are still at work. It's like babysitting for middle schoolers.
Yeah.
So I would just have them put on Newsies or Willy Wonka, and I would just watch it alone in the corner over and over and over again. Love them. Hey. As Good as It Gets. Yeah, I would watch that every day to fall asleep when I was depressed for large portions of my teenage years, because I felt seen by how sad they also were. It's a good movie. The titular line, so metal, when he's coming out of therapy into the waiting room of a bunch of other people who are like devastated in their lives. He says, do you ever just stop to think, what if this is as good as it gets? And like, I remember a woman in the waiting room gasps. She's just like, oh, and then he just fucking leaves. And I'm like, oh, that kind of like existential, just like destructive nature. Like, oh, I get it. Anyway.
There's something similar in like Boyhood when Patricia Arquette says like something like, she's like, I thought it would be better than this. Did you see Boyhood? Oh yeah. It's good. Yeah. Like,
is she talking about motherhood or what?
Well, her life essentially. Yeah. She's just like sad and breaks down eventually. She's like, I thought it would all be better than this. Yeah.
That we were talking about that over Thanksgiving, where it's like, at least an American phenomenon, where I truly believe that everyone thinks that they will one day be rich and famous and successful and powerful. Like, right? What? Like, everyone thinks they're going to win the lottery eventually. Everyone thinks they're going to be a success at something.
I bought a lotto ticket a month ago. I was like, this is the one.
Yeah. Like, there's just
but
something...
I know it's not.
Yeah, right. But there's just some little part of the American kind of ethos and mythos that I think, I could very well be wrong, but like that I think a lot of Americans anyway have like that little twinkle in the back of their eye that thinks, where they're like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be somebody.
Got to give them hope.
Yeah. Because it's the opiate of the masses. Anyway. I don't know why I went off on that. Beto's Burrito says, it's a super basic pick, but OG Star Wars is an extremely easy watch. Hell yeah. Perfect combination
for that.
Yeah.
Because I have a hot take.
Ooh. You want the hot take right now?
Yeah, my cozy.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace. Coziest.
Dude, yeah. Oh,
sorry.
Sophia
I'm sorry.
would agree. Sophia
sorry about it. Yeah. Tell her when this is over. Yeah. Phantom Menace, coziest. Not the best.
It might be.
Coziest.
Certainly not the best.
One of my favorites.
I saw a joke very recently that was so funny, and it's okay. Probably you may have the beginning memorized, but do you know the the opening crawl that happens at the beginning of Phantom Menace?
Yeah, it's like it's something about like taxes and trade routes.
Yeah, exactly. So have you seen the joke going around?
There's like a big exclamation point. It's like taxes taxes or something.
So it said like damn, we were all awful for making fun of George Lucas for this. And it was just like right now the like empire is in distress because of like a dispute
Tariffs
about taxes and tariffs and trade routes.
Dude.
And then like we did like a bunch of us were like all dogging out like this is the most dumbest most boring idea for a setup for a Star Wars movie. Who cares about this? And then like right now all of a sudden that's exactly where we are.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yes. Cultural re-examination of Phantom Menace, dude. Every decade that goes by, we'll see the light more and more.
Beto's Burrito. OG Star Wars, perfect combination of nostalgia and coziness. John Williams is the cozy soundtrack GOAT.
Yeah.
Also saw Heretic, and as someone who grew up very Mormon and was a missionary, it was surreal. I've been both believer and skeptic, and I've had similar conversations to the ones in the movie. Yeah, same. Down to the specific points and counterpoints cited. Also, Chloe East nailed the Utah accent and is the most true-to-life performance I've seen of a very niche subculture. Usually Mormon characters feel like Hollywood cosplay. Yeah, for sure.
I love that movie.
I'd be curious, Betos, what you thought of Under the Banner of Heaven. That show was very intense. Yeah. Colt Smith says, oh my god, I've been drowning in these at the moment for obvious reasons. Number 1, Willow. Oh shit, yeah, Willow. This is one of the most feel-good films of all time. You got heart, bonds, humor, and hot Mad Mardigan, and Sorsha, so perfection. Number 2, The Lord of the Rings extended trilogy, of course. Get dug in and flee to Middle-earth. To Middle-earth. Number 3, all the Kurosawa films. These just feel so nostalgic to me, and when I need to feel okay, they help a ton. Number 4, Dread, because sometimes you need to get angry. Love you all. Keep safe and keep at it. Peach trees. And in the words of Gerard Way, in the face of extermination, say fuck you. Yeah. Dude, yeah. Peach trees. I feel all those. That's for real.
I know.
Pop on Ron later tonight, dude.
I know that not a lot of people have said like old ones, but when I'm like thermonuclear depressed, I need some 1940s shit
for sure, dude. Yeah,
so detached.
Throw on Rear Window, dude.
Yeah,
like North by Northwest. Yeah, like oh my god, yeah,
because it truly feels like you are so disconnected from reality and current day because it's so long. It's just crazy feeling.
Well, when I was a kid, I thought period pieces were so boring. I was like, oh, why do adults watch this shit?
Yeah.
And now I really do like period pieces. Like even like, you know, like Victorian stuff or like even older, like I'm just like, put on some frilly costumes and talk about dating each other and shit. Like it's so far removed from my life right now. Like, please do it.
Totally.
And there is something about like the sensibilities of a movie from the 30s or 40s or 50s, like during different regulations and whatever, where it's like creative solutions to showing things or talking about certain stuff. Because like, I think a lot of modern people who haven't got a lot of experience with older movies think that they're pretty tame. Some of them go fucking
so hard, like psychologically hard,
and like sometimes it's more effective than some modern stuff where you can just show or say or do anything. Like some of the hottest like erotic scenes I've seen were just two people talking to each other because they couldn't, and it's all innuendo. Like, and I'm just like, God damn, this is God tier flirting right now, you know? Like movies back then are like way gayer than you think they are. They're way more like fucked up and nuanced than you think they are. But yeah, like also very cozy, a lot of
so cozy.
Paul Rogers, so much of my movie watching is going through my movie backlog. These can be comforting going into a movie knowing it could become a new favorite. This Halloween, I picked out all the horror and horror-adjacent movies and watched those rather than the old favorites. Saw some absolute classics, including Caché, hell yeah,
nice.
The Hitcher, Ginger Snaps, and Poltergeist.
Poltergeist,
Poltergeist.
fuck yeah.
I'm not a parent.
ones.
I don't plan on it, but I could see how that's just like tapping into like fears of like being a suburban parent like in the 80s. That must scare the shit out of parents more than it did kids.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Poltergeist scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, baby.
Yeah.
Fucking
It's
window, the TV, the clown, the fucking...
It's still a fun ride. Poltergeist is good.
Holds up.
I've been too afraid to do a rewatch. Honestly, it scarred me as a kid. I don't even know if I saw the whole thing. I just saw like parts of it, and I was like,
cool.
ugh.
That's cool.
So much. That is one of the best.
It's like OG It just like ruined my brain. Some movies I'm excited to watch are Wild at Heart, Lost Highway, fuck yeah, Femme, The Name of the Rose, Robot Dreams, Les Samurai, The Amazing Mr. Blunden, Carrie, Ringu, Jabberwocky, Defending Your Life, I like that one, Brick. I know some are likely to not be my thing, but some are going to be new favorites or at least fascinating curios. That's a good list.
There's some winners in there.
Great movies in there.
Big winners.
Throw a rock in there and you'll hit a good movie.
Yeah.
Throw it hard.
Do me a favor. Yeah, throw it hard.
I know some are likely... Oh, wait, I read that. If I had to pick some comfort food films that always work, it's Paddington 1 and 2, dude. Oh, hell yeah. And pretty much every great 80s and 90s action movie does the job. Yeah, we haven't talked about, like, 90s action movies. Like...
So cozy.
There's something super cozy about, like, Con Air.
Con Air, dude.
Or, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff.
John Cusack and Con Air just wearing those white pants and, like, flip-flops, right?
Yeah.
Is he wearing flip-flops through most of it, or sandals?
And he's got, like, those sunglasses, right? If I remember. Yeah.
Like, any and all Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. All of them. Every single one. Jackie Chan. All of them.
Yeah.
Like, so cozy.
Dang, I want to rewatch Predator lately.
Fuck.
I haven't watched that in 100 years. Yeah, Lost Highway. Tell us what you think about Lost Highway next time. If you liked Cachet. All right, last one. Oliver Leland. There was a period of time when Tim Burton was extremely good at constructing worlds that obviously do not exist, but are close enough to our own that escaping into them is pretty easy for me. Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Batman 89 are very different, but I can disappear into either of them depending on my mood. It's hard to talk about 89 without the baggage of Batman as a franchise, so I can imagine it not working for everyone, but I love it singularly. And Pee-wee's Big Adventure, PWBA, I was like, what the hell is that? Pee-wee's Big Adventure is so fucking funny and charming. Yeah, oh yeah. I've been wanting to rewatch Pee-wee's Big Adventure too. I love... You know, obviously, as a freaky little goth girl, the early Tim Burton stuff was big time for me. And like, I felt like Beetlejuice.
Both of you guys.
What?
Both of you guys made me come around on Tim Burton.
Yeah, like his early oeuvre.
That's not a requirement, yeah.
No, yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
No, you did though.
We love you all the same either way.
No, because I looked through his movies and I was like, okay, I was a little hard on him.
Yeah.
And he's so one of a kind. He's so unique.
I mean, that's the thing
about his style has been like copied now so much, but like
even by
nothing,
himself.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, no one like you can't replicate that shit.
Well, and that was the thing is like he definitely had some very noticeable doldrums, like Sleepy Hollow, Onward.
What?
To
we love Sleepy Hollow.
No, I know. After Sleepy Hollow, Onward. Okay. Sleepy Hollow was the last good one, is my point. But then Beetlejuice, dude, I really liked it. Like, I went in, it didn't need to be anything for me. I didn't expect it to be good. Like, in my opinion, he hadn't made a good movie in a long time. And I loved it. I mean, my wife and I just did a photo shoot of our Halloween costumes because she did the staple face Monica Bellucci character, and they turned out great.
That's sick.
But
they did. It
felt like a return to form though for him. Like honestly, like it wasn't perfect. Obviously, it felt like like James Willems said. He said that it felt like they had been keeping a diary of every idea for a Beetlejuice sequel since the last one, and they just did all of them.
That's probably so true.
And I'm like, yeah, a little, it kind of feels like that. But like, most of it worked really well for me. I don't know.
Because when Winona Ryder signed on for Stranger Things, her only clause in her contract was
M&M's.
If Tim Burton makes another Beetlejuice, that's priority. I'm doing that. I'm leaving this and doing that and then
That's
coming
awesome.
back. Yeah.
Oh wow, she's that committed. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, she crushes it in that, I thought. I think, whatever. Yeah, it's not perfect, but yeah, it's a fun movie. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of the comments. Any cozy movies that they didn't mention that you wanted mentioned?
Casablanca.
I was going to say Casablanca.
That's an intense one for a cozy movie.
But it has
that's one of those things where you say where it hits
old
hard.
Feeling, where it's like, oh. And honestly, it might hit hard. It might hit hard in a good way right now with all the fascism.
Those are like, but well, it's hard to talk about that movie without spoiling. But it's so old that it's like, just go watch it.
I know, watch it.
It's a movie about making sacrifices, is what I'll say.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone knows the quotes that are from the end of the movie.
Oh, it's so good. It's such a good
fucking perfect movie.
It's so perfect.
It's like one of the best movies.
It's also
really
not overrated for its status.
Yeah.
Some of them I feel are, or maybe they have graduated past their time of, but that one still holds on to,
Still relevant.
Titanic.
Ooh, yeah.
Pretty depressing. A lot of people freaking die. But there's just like the first half, and it takes a while too to kind of like for everyone to I don't know. It's fucking depressing, but it's cozy. I don't know.
I mean, it's funny because like I think about stuff like, and this is probably just like when it hit me in life too, like nostalgia play stuff. But like Robin and Prince of Thieves or Braveheart or like those kind of like period epics that like, I mean, obviously I haven't rewatched those in a long time, but that kind of stuff. But like we were talking about long movies, like, and there is something like my wife Sophia, she says that she has the comfort tastes of a grandpa because she loves like war movies for comfort movies.
I didn't know that about her.
She'll pop on like the Pacific. Or like I know she's having a tough time if I come home and she's watching John Adams and I'm like, all right, here we go. It's cozy though. It is, in its own way. Totally. Or like long stuff like Das Boot. You kind of got to get into a mindset. 12 Angry Men.
Yep. Big long sweeping epics like Barry Lyndon.
Dude, I still haven't watched it, but I bought the Criterion Blu-ray.
Fuck yeah. Don't force it. Don't rush it. Don't force it. It'll
the
call
little
you.
Rose on the front, the silhouette and the rose.
It'll call you, Isla. It'll whisper your name, and you'll be like, now's the time.
The disc space. We were out of disc space. I'm recording on this other thing, so.
Oh, okay.
We can end it, though, because I'm out of disc space.
Chill.
All right. Thank you, everybody. That's the episode. I ran out of disc space. Patreon.com.
I'll tell you my cozy ones next time.
Pop them in there. Pop them in there.
Pop them in.
Pop them in there.
Bottle Rocket.
Ooh.
Bottle Rocket. And Truman Show.
Oh, fuck yeah, Truman Show.
Trapped, but then he breaks
yeah, Truman Show. Holy shit.
And then melancholic cozy movie. I love that pick.
True Romance. And Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. And Zoolander. Yeah, some comedies.
Hell yeah.
Throwing those in there.
Yeah.
Did I say Wayne's World? Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. So we watched Goldmember over Thanksgiving as well. Great one.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay,
cool. Yeah, those are all great. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching or listening. Please rate and share and tell everyone you've ever met about our show. Yes. Patreon.com/reactionshots. All right. We will see you next month. We'll probably record on or a little after New Year's because we'll be out of town and whatever. But it'll be kind of a year in review kind of a thing, probably. But yeah. Or maybe we'll wait for January for that and do a holiday thing. I don't know, whatever. All right. Bye.
Bye.